See, I'm trying to figure out how this sociopath is allowed to practice law, and it's actually like putting a pedophile in a kindergarten. And not to sound crazy, but we're allowing a man who's a sociopath who will lie to his clients. He'll lie to the judge, to his clients. He'll have his secretary and the paralegal or his legal assistant lying, Sean Burson lying. And then I have to think that if he's lying now to me and the appellate court and the judges, and everything he's telling everyone is actually something that doesn't benefit his client at all, it benefits the other party, his ex, then you have to logic will tell you that why is a man who's filthy rich doing this unless he's getting paid? And if he's doing this, I have to think that he's done this to other people, which means there's a corrupt system where there are repeat offenses by this man. Then I went to the ARDC. I go to the ARDC and I file charges. I tell them what he's done, and they don't think it's worthy of him being even reprimanded. Now I'm at the state's attorney's office, and they're looking into it. Three men, three very intelligent private investigators who are close to her, and are doing a thorough investigation of these three judges: Judge Boyd, Judge Cunningham, and Judge Winkler. How do any one of these judges, even one, say, okay, we're going to take a divorce that's got $6 or $7 or $8 million. We're not going to allow this man, a forensic accountant, we're not going to allow him to scrutinize any of the records whatsoever. We're not going to allow this man who's got ADD and bipolar, who's actually seeing a psychiatrist, to see, we're not going to give him money so he can continue to see somebody while he's out of state. We're not going to straighten out we're not going to put him on a level playing field at all. This guy is unstable on his best day. And his wife over here is making millions of dollars a year. We're going to allow her complete control of everything, and we're going to keep him in an unstable environment throughout this entire divorce. We're not going to let him see a doctor. We're not going to allow him to even get money together to file his taxes. There's $4 or $5 million sitting there. The wife is admitting to this, but we're not going to let him allow him to have a penny of that so that he can provide records to us as to what he's contributed, so that he can get his own life in order. And then Enrico Marbelli and Sean Burson walk into, they misrepresent themselves to me, their client. They tell me they can't find this Barbara Small, the court reporter. They lie to Barbara Small and say they're waiting to get money to pay her. His employees are lying to Barbara Small, which means, why are his employees lying? His employees, Martha, and they named two other people I can't think, but I got a letter from Barbara Small saying, I spoke to this person on this date and she said this. I spoke to Martha on this date and she told me they're waiting for money from court. I spoke to Enrico on this date and he told me they're sending me a check. I spoke to Sean Burson on this date. So they're lying to her. Then they're lying to me, which means they're keeping crucial evidence can keep the transcripts for the client and try to make me believe that they don't exist and hope that I never look for them. Now, if Chuck Shepard never came over to my house and just happened to get on the internet and find Barbara Small in like 5 minutes, her evidence would just, her transcripts, the first 2 days of her transcripts wouldn't exist. They wouldn't exist. They would have filed an appeal, said we don't have this information, they were reporting to me that they didn't need the transcripts, that they were arguing the law. Now they're filing an appeal, but they're not going to appeal any of the mistakes they made. Enrico Marabelli got up on, this is the owner of the law firm. He got in front of court and told the jury that I was a martial arts expert. And then he comes back to the desk. I said, martial arts expert? I took Taekwondo lessons when I was 12 for 6 months. I boxed once in high school over the weekend against one guy. That don't matter. everything to him was, it doesn't matter. Um, what is his motivation? How is this man? I looked at it today. It just dawned on me. He represented Anita Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan is fabulously wealthy and respected and admired by the world. Don't think that this scumbag didn't go to Michael Jordan and say, hey, $1 million and maybe this thing will go your way a whole lot more than her way when I convince her to settle this. But think about it. Is it beyond him? It's not beyond him. And he actually represented Anita Jordan. He represented Brian Urlacher's stripper girlfriend. Guaranteed there was some money going on under the table. I've been told by other people that this scumbag, Enrico Mirabelli, has represented that he has asked them, he has basically kind of hinted, and he'll come around and ask, I want a tip at the end. And the tip is definitely going to help you in hiding the money you haven't reported, the money your wife doesn't know about. How do you want this thing to go? In what direction? But he has asked several clients. So when this thing hits the internet, people are going to be laughing and writing in saying, you know what, he did that to me too. He did that to me. I walked that into a divorce. When we were getting divorced, there were $3,700,000 some odd dollars that she was admitting to. And then we got divorced 5 years later. What happened from that day till 5 years later? He's actually telling me she lost money. I'm going, okay, she saved almost $4 million in 2.5 years. That's when she was making the money, 2.5, maybe 3 years. And then we're going through a divorce for another 4. Maybe that estate is worth 7 or 8 million. And Ann is going to her scumbag lawyer, Steve Comey, and everybody will comment on Steve too. Wow. Guess what? For a little money, Ann, we'll railroad Bob. Maybe $500,000, and we'll make sure he gets nothing. He'll listen to Enrico. He'll take him down the path, and in the end, he'll get nothing.